Hey guys, Tony here from TonyTechBytes, and this is the OnePlus 7 Pro. I just got it about a week ago from the downtown T-Mobile San Francisco store. As a side note, I am a US brand ambassador for OnePlus, but that does not skew my opinion on the device since they want me to review it honestly. So before we start gaming on the OnePlus 7 Pro, I just want to go over a couple specs just to let you all know the features and specs that the OnePlus 7 Pro packs inside this phone. Oh, and also I'm not going to be showing any benchmarks, numbers, or graphs, or any data of any sort because I feel like that won't really represent how the phone can perform in a day-to-day usage. So I'd rather show you guys gameplay and just usage of the phone itself. So let's first start off with the specs. The OnePlus 7 Pro has a 90Hz fluid AMOLED display compared to 60Hz screens like the iPhone XS and most smartphones. The 90Hz refresh rate is actually significantly smoother. And when I'm gaming on my PC, I'd use a 144Hz monitor. So I didn't really think that 90Hz would be much of a difference from 60Hz. But when you actually use it, like when you're scrolling on social media or when you're launching different apps, you can actually tell a significant improvement in smoothness with the phone. The screen is also 6.67 inches diagonally speaking. And this offers a really nice gaming experience because you can basically see everything. And it's really smooth with the 90Hz refresh rate. So as for the actual specs of the phone, the CPU is the Snapdragon 855 8-core CPU. And for the GPU, it has the Adreno 640, so this thing is going to seriously pack a punch. And there's also a 10-layer liquid cooling system inside the phone. It's basically a heat pipe that dissipates heat from the processors onto the back of the phone to spread the heat out onto the environment and keep the phone cool. So today we're going to be testing out gaming performance as well as how hot it'll get when you're gaming. So let's begin. So I'm going to be screen recording this on my phone to let you guys see what it looks like. And I'm also not going to be... And as for audio, I'm not really sure if it can capture audio, but I'll just see if it can. If it doesn't, then I guess can't really do anything about it. Oh, and as for the games I'm going to be playing, I'm going to be playing Fortnite, PUBG, and Asphalt 9. So I'm going to click screen record right now. Okay, so first I'm going to click Fortnite and we're just going to wait for it to load, but I'm going to skip this part. And I'm also not using a case right now just so I can feel how hot the phone gets and tell you guys how hot I actually feel it. Oh, another thing I forgot to mention about the OnePlus 7 Pro is that you can customize it up to 12 gigabytes of RAM, which will basically allow you to multitask more efficiently, open more apps at the same time, and also just run smoother since you have more RAM and it won't bottleneck your phone. This model I have right here, it has 12 gigabytes of RAM, but the base model comes with 8 gigabytes. I think I'm going to try Team Rumble just so I can really stress out the phone since Team Rumble is kind of intensive. Everyone's building all over the place and people are all over fighting. So I'm going to ready up and we'll just wait for the game to load. Oh, and by the way, as for graphical settings, I'm setting it to all epic, 3D resolution's 100%. Mobile frame rate only goes up to 30 frames per second, unfortunately, since it's not optimized for Android phones. Right now we're in the battle bus, and it looks decently smooth right now, but obviously it isn't taking advantage of the 90Hz refresh rate since it's only at 30 frames per second. But it doesn't seem to drop any frames. The phone isn't getting that hot right now. So I'm going to drop right now. 30 frames per second isn't that smooth, but it's definitely playable on a phone. And I definitely like the huge screen of the OnePlus 7 Pro. You can basically see everything without having huge bezels on the sides of your display. And it's more immersive than my OnePlus. And it's more immersive than my iPhone, so I definitely prefer this over that. However, with most new iPhones like the XS, the XR, and I believe the X as well, you can actually play at 60 frames per second since Epic Games decided to optimize those phones and not Android phones. I really wish they would push out an update, but if they push out an update for 60 frames per second on Androids, it might take a little bit longer since they have to go through hundreds, at least tens of Android phones and check for compatibility and all that stuff, so it's going to be pretty difficult for them. Oh, and by the way, while you're gaming, the phone automatically turns on Fanatic mode, which basically mutes all notifications, optimizes the CPU, GPU, and RAM to basically allow a better gaming experience. And as you can see, it's not really that smooth since it's running at 30 frames per second, but I guarantee that if there ever were to be an update to allow 60 frames per second, that it would definitely be a lot smoother. And I don't really think that the frames would stutter either, since this phone has really great specs and a really good and a really sophisticated cooling system. Oh. Honestly, I'm pretty bad at this game on mobile because it's just really hard to play. It's kind of cramped and the controls are kind of hard to use, but it takes a little bit of getting used to. So I think I'll just start building a little bit to show you guys how it looks like to build. Yeah, it's pretty hard to play. Oh shoot. Yeah, I died. Anyways, I think this is enough of Fortnite. It runs pretty well on the OnePlus 7 Pro. It's not the best since it's at 30 frames per second, but it's pretty decent. You can run it at max settings and play really well. It won't drop any frames, and it's a pretty good experience. Okay, I just clicked screen record. We're on PUBG, and I just started playing today. I'm really bad at this game, and yeah, we'll just start playing. So my first game on, I actually got 3 kills, and I think that's not that bad on mobile. But anyways, here we are. We finally loaded in the game. Oh yeah. For my settings, for graphics, I have it on HDR. It doesn't allow Ultra HD just yet. I'm running ultra frame rate, so I'm hoping that's at least 60 frames per second. The classic style. I disabled anti-aliasing, enabled shadows, brightness 100%, and I put auto adjust graphics if the frame rate drops. So we're on the plane. We're gonna get ready to jump soon. And when you move around, it looks pretty smooth so far. I'm not going to jump with them. I'm with the squad, and I usually would probably land with them, but I'm probably not going to do that for this video. since I kind of just want to jump wherever and explore on my own. Yeah, I'm just gonna jump right now. So it looks pretty smooth when you're landing. Usually this is a pretty intensive part because it has to load the entirety of the map. And right now it looks pretty smooth. I don't really feel any frame rate drops, and yeah, let's just go down there, try to find a gun, and try to find someone to kill. The nearly bezel-less screen is such a nice screen to look at, especially when you're playing games like this. I have no guns right over here. Just found a bunch of items, ammo and stuff. Why can't I throw this? I'm trying to punch it. Why can't I punch it? Oh my god. I knocked him out. Oh my. This guy has to be the worst player ever. Okay, got a kill somehow. Let me take his stuff. This guy has a ton of stuff, so that's gonna be pretty useful. Yeah, I'm gonna take everything. Okay, I don't need this tip. I need to reload though. Okay, I'm gonna try to find more people. Ooh, motorcycle. I have no clue how to drive this. Oh, okay, never mind. That should be pretty simple to drive. Okay, now we're driving. This should probably be more intensive than running since I have to go a further distance and at a faster rate. So the rest of the map is gonna have to load really quickly. It looks pretty smooth. Besides my driving skills, that's not really smooth. Honking the horn. Since there's no one nearby, and for the sake of time, I think I'm just gonna start shooting. Let you guys see the frame rate. Let you guys see the gameplay. It's not really dropping frames, which is a good thing. But yeah, just gonna shoot all my guns. Keep running around to let you guys see everything. But I think I'm gonna end PUBG right over here and just leave the game. Okay, now on to Asphalt 9. Let me click screen record again and we'll get right to it. Okay, Asphalt 9. This is actually the game that OnePlus advertises on the website, so hopefully this runs really well on the phone. So right now I'm trying to feel the back of the phone and the front of it. It's not really getting too hot, though the top portion of the back is getting a little bit warm. But it's still running pretty well. This game looks pretty nice so far. Yeah, I definitely appreciate the huge screen. There's basically no bezel. There's no notch. There's no camera cutout. And I really appreciate that since when you're gaming it looks extremely nice. Okay, so we're basically just speeding down the streets and it looks really smooth right now. It's not really dropping any frames and it's really smooth, so I'm assuming it's at least 60 frames per second. I don't know what the graphic settings are right now since I'm assuming this is a tutorial, but it looks like it's probably really high. Since all the colors look nice, there's a lot of detail and the resolution is pretty sharp. Oh, and what's even cooler is that the color of the car kind of matches the back of the OnePlus 7 Pro. And this is the Nebula blue color, by the way. But yeah, it's kind of big coincidence. Okay, I get it. Okay, we're speeding down there, a bunch of cars next to me, kind of bumping into a bunch of them, and it still looks extremely smooth. I like how this game looks. Honestly, it looks really good. Yeah, this game is really immersive, especially with the curved screen on the OnePlus 7 Pro. Forgot to mention that earlier, but it really adds so much more to your gaming experience. It makes you feel like you're actually driving, and yeah, it looks really good. Okay, so now that I've had some time to play 3 games on the OnePlus 7 Pro, which consisted of PUBG, Fortnite, and Asphalt 9, I have to say this has to be the most fun I've ever had on a smartphone. It's definitely way better than my iPhone XS. I mean, you get a 90 Hz refresh rate, a fluid AMOLED display, and it's also curved so it looks really immersive. And it's so much better than my iPhone because it's just plain screen. There's a humongous notch, and on the OnePlus 7 Pro there's no notch, which looks so much better. And the display on the OnePlus 7 Pro is also significantly larger than my iPhone, so it's also a huge plus. And while gaming is significantly smoother than what I thought it would be, the cooling system is also really effective since the back of the phone isn't that hot. It's a little bit warm, but it's not that bad at all. And Fortnite was pretty good. It only ran at 30 frames per second, but it was smooth throughout the entire time. PUBG was also really smooth. I'm assuming it was playing at least 60 frames per second at the highest settings. Asphalt 9 was also incredibly smooth. I really liked playing that game as well. And I'm assuming that was also at 60 frames per second since that was really smooth. But basically, yeah, I really enjoyed using the OnePlus 7 Pro for gaming. And I think the OnePlus 7 Pro definitely packs better features and a better experience than most competitors at a slightly cheaper price than a lot of flagship smartphones out today. So thank you guys so much for watching this video on the OnePlus 7 Pro's gaming performance. I'm going to be uploading a review and a couple more videos on this OnePlus 7 Pro in a couple days. So subscribe and like if you haven't already so you can stay tuned and watch those videos. But yeah, I've really enjoyed using the OnePlus 7 Pro for the week that I've had it, and I really can't wait to use it more.